Hello, welcome back, Recapped Mystery here. Today, I'm going to explain a Japanese manga series called The Promised Neverland. Watch out and take care. Emma, an 11-year-old girl, climbs out of bed and wakes other youngsters sleeping in the same corridor. They live in the Gracefield house, a big orphanage where all of their needs are met. They are led by Isabella, whom the children refer to as Mom. Although the children are not related by blood, they live as one giant family and receive a lot of love from their mother. Their days begin when Emma wakes everyone up. They then sit together and eat a variety of healthful foods. The orphanage prioritizes the education and happiness of the children. They are educated in the orphanage's grounds, just like any other school. Emma and two of her best pals, Norman and Ray, consistently excel in their studies and receive the top grades. The children are likewise tattooed with identification numbers and have no knowledge of the outside world. A vast meadow surrounds the orphanage, where the children run around and play together. They are not, however, permitted to leave the meadow's perimeter fence. The children arrive at the orphanage as infants, but they do not remain there their entire lives. They are arranged to be adopted by foster parents and to venture out into the world to meet new people. Similarly, Connie, a little girl, quits the orphanage one day. The youngsters wish her well and advise her to be good to her new parents as they send her off. Isabella then walks Connie to the orphanage's main door. Meanwhile, Emma discovers a teddy animal that Connie adores and dashes outside with Norman to return it to her. When they get at the entrance gate, they notice that Isabella and Connie have already passed. The two take a chance and carefully walk outside, where they discover a lone van and no one else. The pair is frightened as they gaze inside the van. Connie is motionless on the floor, a plant stabbed into her chest. Two monstrous creatures approach them before they can respond. Emma and Norman are frozen in disbelief, hiding beneath the van. The beasts argue about the superiority of human meat. One of them claims that the meat from this farm is exclusive and is reserved for wealthy devils. The children who have come out of hiding realize that their orphanage is nothing more than a farm where they are grown like cattle to be consumed by demons. When students are more intelligent, they are branded as good meat. Just then, Isabella appears and informs the devils about the kids that receive the greatest grade in the class. Those are the students who are the most delectable and in high demand. Isabella had been teaching them how to taste better for the demons. She promises to bring the youngsters with the highest scores the next time. Norman and Emma narrowly avoid detection and flee to the orphanage. Emma collapses, crying in the middle of the scene, stating that the girl they saw was not Connie and refusing to believe their mother can be this terrible. Norman tries to calm her down by telling her that they may flee the orphanage, but Emma is concerned about the other children who are like family to her. Emma and Norman discuss the previous day's events the next day. Norman advises that they arrange an elaborate escape from the orphanage and keep the others in the dark until the scheme is done. They decide to cross the fence that day to discover what life is like outside. They come to a tall wall after traveling through the woods for a time. They are unable to jump across it, so they return. Meanwhile, a young girl named Nayla becomes disoriented in the woods. Isabella checks her watch and returns Nayla in no time. Emma and Norman notice this and realize that the watch is a transmitter that allows her to locate all of the children. The next day, Norman and Emma travel to the woods with a rope in hand, intending to cross the wall. They are soon apprehended by their best friend Ray, who is suspicious of them. Norman tells Ray the truth about the orphanage, detailing everything they heard and witnessed that night. Ray, contrary to what the two had expected, believes them almost instantly. He believes that they should flee the orphanage as quickly as possible, but Emma maintains that they should not abandon the other children to be eaten. Isabella introduces everyone to their new babysitter Krona at night. The group's escape becomes increasingly difficult with Krona's arrival. Then we show Isabella and Krona conversing, and Isabella confesses that she discovered Connie's toy and is aware that Emma, Norman, and Ray are aware of the orphanage's true goal. She is convinced, however, that they will not escape. Later, the three went their separate ways to talk in private. Norman believes that one of the children is Isabella's spy, who gives her all of the information. If this is correct, they know that one of the elder children should be chosen. The gang chooses to inform two of the older children, Don and Gilda, about the orphanage's truth. They initially do not believe the children, but eventually agree to assist them. When the three are alone, Norman claims to have briefed Dawn and Gilda about two possible sites for the ropes they will be using to climb the wall. The one who vanishes first will reveal who the spy is. One of the ropes vanishes the next day. Emma and Ray are overjoyed that they have discovered the spy. Instead, Norman confesses that the rope narrative was a ruse to catch Ray. He had informed Ray a fictitious location in order to determine whether he was the spy, and Ray had fallen into the trap. Ray ultimately says that he discovered the truth about the orphanage a long time ago but knew he couldn't leave. He faced Isabella, who said that no matter what, he would one day be given to a demon. So, having no other option, he promised to be a spy for her in order for her to postpone his adoption. However, Ray has not informed Isabella of the children's intention to use the rope to scale the wall, leading Norman to feel Ray is not devoted to her. Ray then discloses that he has been plotting his escape for quite some time. In actuality, he was the one who stole Connie's toy so Emma and Norman could discover the truth and would want to go as well. Norman proclaims Ray a double agent and retains him on the squad. Ray goes to Isabella at night and lies to her about Norman attempting to poison her food. Isabella thanks him but adds that Ray's turn to be adopted is approaching. When Krona overhears them chatting the next day, all five of the youngsters decide to jump over the wall. Rather than reporting to Isabella, she joins them. Krona, it turns out, was also a student like them. She wants to replace Isabella as the orphanage's new mother, and she is willing to assist the children in doing so. They go to her room at night, where Krona tells them what she knows about the outside world. Man and demons were at odds about 1,000 years ago. Both monsters resolved not to bother each other after a long and exhausting combat. An arrangement known as the Promise was struck in which humans and demons agreed to dwell in separate worlds. Some humans were left behind in the demon realm, which is how the human breeding farms began. By consuming clever humans, demons acquire their characteristics, preventing them from becoming mindless monsters. This also benefits humans, so they sacrificed a few on the farm so that the world could be at peace. Isabella fires Krona the next day since she discovered her plans the day before. Krona notices their supervisor grandmother at the gate as they leave. She makes a demon eat Krona for attempting to help the children. The children then carry out their strategy. While Ray stalls Isabella and the other two keep an eye on her, Emma and Norman proceed to the wall. However, their plot is quickly derailed when Isabella confines Ray in a room and rushes to get Norman and Emma. She eventually meets them near a wall, declaring that she has given them everything they desire in life and that they should not reject the inevitable. Emma tries to stop Isabella, but she breaks Emma's leg in the process. She then tells Norman that he has been adopted and that tomorrow is his last day in the orphanage. The group reassembles at night. They are concerned about Norman, who states that he would gladly die if it meant that everyone else in the orphanage would be secure. Norman discovers a strange pen in his drawer after everyone has fallen sleeping. Krona kept this pen there to aid them in their escape. The next day, Norman climbs the wall with the use of a rope in order to flee, only to come to a cliff that he cannot cross. He returns to the orphanage, having accepted his death, with teary eyes. The group hugs one last time, as Emma sobs in misery. Isabella finally pulls him away. To Norman's amazement, he is led to a man rather than a demon. The man claims to be in charge of ensuring that everything in the realm of demons and humans runs well. As they converse, a demon appears in front of Norman, preparing to devour him. Emma is depressed as she recovers from her injury over the next 6 months. She and Ray have given up hope and have forgotten about their escape plot. Isabella monitors them every day and is relieved that they are under control. Ray is finally being given up to the demons after 2 months. Emma comes to see him the night before and tells him that they still have a chance. Ray, on the other hand, has decided to set himself on fire along with the home. Emma cries and calls for Isabella as the fire spreads. Isabella orders the children to leave the house immediately and attempts to extinguish the fire. After a while, she notices that there are no children present. It turns out that this was their intention all along. Emma couldn't do anything suspicious for the past 2 months because Isabella was watching her. So Dawn and Gilda told the other kids about their plan and prepared them for it. Emma also discovered a letter on Norman's bed with an extensive plan written on it. Emma couldn't tell Ray sooner since Isabella was keeping a tight eye on them. They abandoned the small children because they could not risk endangering their own lives. Emma has vowed to return for them when they have additional assistance. They are now climbing the wall as Isabella approaches them using the navigator. She quickly realizes the navigator isn't working since the youngsters have taken the device out of their ears. Finally, once everyone is on top of the wall, they connect a rope to the other end and slide through it. Emma is the last to depart, but Isabella arrives and threatens to cut the rope before she can. Emma admits to Isabella that killing the children has been difficult for her. Isabella wishes to watch the children grow and is pleased of them for making it this far. Isabella denies everything Emma says and insists on getting the kids back. Emma takes a chance and slides down the rope. Isabella has the opportunity to trim it, but she declines. She looks over at the kids she raised on the other side and smiles at them one final time. The children then proceed through the woods. They come to a halt as Emma informs them about the pen Krona had left them. When the pen is opened, it projects a picture into the air. An owl appears in the scene and guides them to the city, where they will be secure. Meanwhile, Isabella faces the grandmother and the supervisor of both worlds. They are angry at Isabella for allowing the important youngsters to flee. As a punishment, she is fed to a demon at the end of the film. Please subscribe to assist the channel, turn on notification and leave a like. Thank you for taking the time to watch. See you again soon.